$400 median average across the country. I think it's a great deal. I think it's a very generous compromise kind of deal. And I think it's going to help the 16 million people who are unemployed and are still suffering a lot of heartbreak and a lot of hardship. I get that. And we're going to be helping them there. And the payroll tax deferral, again, that's a shot in the arm. It puts more cash in work. It gives the 140 million people who are working, who, were able to get through this, they're heroes working, they're going to get a big pay raise. That's what it amounts to. It's a 6.25% pay raise, about $1,100. And that's huge stimulus also.
Do you absolutely object and completely reject bailout money for the states?
Well, that word bailout, yeah, we reject that. I think I'll have to I'll Google up Webster's dictionary for bailout, i.e. Stuart Varney, just to make sure I know what you're saying.
Well, but your money coming from the administration, going to places like New Jersey or Illinois, essentially helping them bail out their bankrupt pension payments to their government workers. Do you absolutely flat out reject it? You'll never do it.
The president has rejected that very steadily and consistently. This is not about bailing out pensions. It's not about bailing bad management. I don't want to use New Jersey as an example because I happen to think I think a lot of Governor Phil Murphy, and I think he's done a good job and he works very well with us. But generically, your point is well taken. The president completely opposes that. However, we are not opposed to some assistance, federal assistance, with respect, for example, to COVID-related equipment or construction or renovation, especially, I say this again, opening schools and opening businesses. They're about 80% business open. Hope to get that much higher in the months ahead. And of course, that leaves us with the guidelines, right? I mean, it's very important. Safety and security, the masking, the distancing, the testing where applicable, and good hand washing and hygiene. That's essential. Now, people need help on that. We probably would be willing to provide some assistance.
I just see the numbers. Between March the 23rd and yesterday, the value of all publicly traded companies in the United States went up to the tune of $12.2 trillion. Now, that is a stunning increase. I've never seen anything like it. Is that an economic indicator?
Yes, very important indicator. The broad S&P 500, as you know, is up 50% from the March 23rd lows. Middle-income people own shares through IRAs and 401ks. Unions, public and private unions, are in their pension plans. That relies on the stock market. Household net worth, Stuart, which is what you're measuring, essentially stocks and homes and what kind of cash you have in the bank and some other items. That thing is up, I think I saw, is now worth $112 trillion. That's a remarkable number. It's like the total value of American assets. That's a remarkable number. I don't know. It's got to be up at least 30% from the lows. I'll have to check that. But anyway, you are correct. That's a leading indicator. Many distinguished economists on Wall Street use that household net worth. Yeah. It's from the Federal Reserve's flow of funds as a leading indicator of the economy.
But the left, and I presume Kamala Harris, will say that's not fair. The rich are getting richer. They're doing well out of this virus problem. What are you doing about that?
Yeah, well, I feel sorry for them in that point of view. It's so completely wrong. It just runs counter to the American idea. I mean, in a free economy like ours, where we reward success, a rising tide does lift all boats. It may not be perfect, but you start at the beginning, at the starting line, with equal opportunity and freedom. Where you end up and the finish line is completely up to you. But all Americans have shared, President Trump's first 3 years and 2 months was splendid. Lowest unemployment in history, wage increases, as you probably know. Middle class and lower middle class, the bottom quintiles did the best under President Trump's tax cuts and deregulation and trade reform and so forth, and energy. So I think that's just a phony argument. Democrats put that out every time. I don't think Americans really buy it. And you know what? Look, I don't think Americans resent people from succeeding or getting rich, quote unquote, whatever that means. I think Americans want opportunities and incentives, and that's what presidential policies have always done. And we do have a safety net. And this debate about the COVID so-called CARES package number 2 is that we are putting in incentives. We want to create new opportunities, and where necessary, where it applies to COVID, we will raise the safety net with temporary cash injections. We've always done that from the beginning. It was bipartisan last winter. Unfortunately, it's very partisan today. But I don't care. All this stuff, no one should hate. People don't object to their neighbors and friends doing well, and they want to do well. They want the same opportunities. And the middle class owns a lot of stocks, Stuart. 51% of the people in this country, 51% of the households own stocks. That's a gigantic number.
As we go out, Larry, would you make any comment on the selection of Kamala Harris as Joe Biden's running mate?
Oh, I have no personal comment. I don't know her. I've never met her. I know the president is disappointed in her performance in the judicial hearings. I would just say, though, the issue here is the significant left turn in Democratic policies. I mean, Biden, Senator Biden, or former Vice President Biden, is backing over $3 trillion in tax cuts, and tax hikes. I'm sorry, tax hikes. That's crazy. You're coming out of a pandemic contraction of historic dimensions, and he wants to raise taxes. As I say, where are the Keynesians now that we need them, much less supply-siders like me? And they're going to re-regulate, and they're going to decimate energy, which will completely crater the economy and the stock market. That's the problem. It's not the personalities that concern me, it's the policies. And the policies would transform America, as Vice President Biden has said. It would transform it towards a government-run, socialized economy, the likes of which has never succeeded. And that's a warning. You know, I hope voters, well, I know voters are very smart. They will be following this intensely. The contrast between President Trump and Mr. Biden couldn't be clearer. President Trump's tax cuts and deregulation and fair trade and energy revival gave us a splendid, fast-growing economy for his 3 years and 2 months before the pandemic. It's probably the best economy in several generations. Why do you want to unwind that? Why do you want to overturn that? Why do you want to transform that? I don't want to transform it. I want to continue with a second round of economic rebuilding.
That virus changed everything, didn't it?
Yeah,
Came along.
it did.
Well,
it did, but we will persevere, Stu. And by the way, your announcement about the Masters is fabulous news.
It is.
Fabulous.
Isn't that
That's
wonderful?
the psyche. That's the psyche of America. People love that.
Yeah.
Just like the baseball opening. And
November 9th through the 15th, the Masters will take place.
Fantastic.
Larry, thanks for joining us. Always.
Thanks, Stu.
Appreciate
Okay.
it. See you soon. Thank you very much indeed.